in having Morrow Consulting and Training, Inc., Mr. David Morrow, Chief Performance Officer, who is here today and joining us en personne. It's a pleasure to welcome you. Mr. Morrow, you have 5 minutes to give your opening remarks. We will then proceed to a series of questions with the members of the committee.
Great. Thank you very much, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Dave Morrow. I'm a Canadian Armed Forces veteran, founder of Morrow Consulting and Training, Inc., creator of the Hard to Kill project at hardtokill.org. That includes an internationally awarded podcast, the Hard to Kill podcast, an Amazon best-selling book, Harden the F Up, an online veterans Getting Fit AF community that is the first to offer frontline medical coverage and plant medicine consulting through the AVET protocol, and receive Veterans Affairs Canada funding to improve the health and fitness of our female warriors with our world-class Athena program. I'm also, as far as I know, the only Canadian veteran who has co-organized an international entrepreneur conference at the largest military entrepreneurship conference in the world, the Military Influencer Conference. And I spent the last 6 years talking shop with some of the biggest American and Canadian veteran business leaders. I'll also slip in there that if not for the Hard to Kill podcast and my team, there wouldn't be nearly as many Afghan interpreters and their families here in Canada. So let me start the way any good entrepreneur should, with an offer. My offer is simple. Work with me to map, measure, and unlock the veteran entrepreneurship pipeline in Canada, not in theory, not in another glossy brochure, through a proper evidence-based strategy that treats veterans founders as a national economic asset, not a side project. I'm not going to give you a 10-point solution in 5 minutes, that's obvious. That would be consultant malpractice. What I am going to do is lay out the problem, show you what we know from the United States, and make it painfully clear how little we actually know about veteran entrepreneurs in Canada. If you want real answers, that's what a follow-on mandate is for. In the United States, the picture is very clear. 1.6 million businesses that contribute $1 trillion worth of revenue per year. Research has shown that the American veterans are almost twice as likely to be self-employed as non-veterans and 80% more successful in their businesses than their civilian counterparts. In other words, the US can actually measure both the upside and the friction in their veteran entrepreneurship ecosystem. Now let's cross the border. In Canada, we know there are about 460,000 veterans and roughly 8,500 members transition out of the Canadian Armed Forces every year. Here's the uncomfortable question. How many of them own businesses? In what sectors? With how many employees? What are their failure rates, their capital gaps, their export potential? No one in this room can answer that question with confidence because we haven't bothered to build a proper national picture. We have signals, though, just not a system. We have grassroots initiatives like shopveteran.ca, programs like Princess Operation Entrepreneur, which is now unfortunately defunct. So that's the first barrier. We're flying blind. My personal experience as an entrepreneur navigating the minefield of VAC and PCVRS programs included being threatened with benefit suspension for not following the vocational plan of becoming a CBC radio host, even though I'm a biochemist with a master's degree in education. Having my DEC decision delayed due to the suspicion that since I host a podcast and coach veterans, I was making employment income and not declaring it while on the IRB. And not being eligible for a work chair due to my service-related injury from VAC due to the fact that I'm self-employed. From my work with Canadian veterans and from the largest military entrepreneurship conference in the world, a few themes keep on coming up. Data and visibility. Veteran founders are invisible in our national stats. If you're not counted, you're not planned for. You're not in the procurement strategies, not in the innovation funds, not in the export playbooks. Capital and benefits, cliff. In the US, they at least know veterans are more likely to be entrepreneurs and still face financial gaps. In Canada, a veteran weighing a startup has to navigate a maze of VAC benefits, tax rules, and provincial programs. Often with a very real fear that trying to build a business will jeopardize the safety that keeps food on the table. The fact that we prevent income growth while on disability is beyond comprehension to me and implies we would rather sit at home, collect our check, shut up, and smoke our cannabis. There's fragmented supports. There's no clear front door for Canadian veterans who want to start and grow a business. Instead, there's a patchwork of nonprofits, boot camps, short-term projects, and well-meaning pilots. Good people, good work, but from a systems perspective, it's a bag full of parts not an engine. And culture and identity. We train people to follow orders in the Canadian Armed Forces, then drop them into a world where success depends on breaking patterns, questioning assumptions, and pitching themselves. For many, especially those dealing with injuries like myself, chronic pain and operational stress injuries, entrepreneurship is both an opportunity and a psychological minefield. Not to mention, back home in Montreal, I'm surrounded by a friend network of veteran entrepreneurs that never mention that they're veterans because it's bad for business. Why? Canada has consistently driven home a message in the media that we are unhinged, sex predators, or grumpy old man veterans complaining about our benefits. The reality is only veterans buy from other veteran-owned businesses. Not a single increase in sales during my Elbows Up campaign, unfortunately. So what do I want from you today? Not a brochure, not another pilot. I want this committee to treat veteran entrepreneurs as economic policy, not charity. That means three things at a high level. Count us, direct VAC, StatsCan, and partners to properly identify, track, and report on veteran-owned businesses as a distinct category. Follow the outcomes, not the intentions. Tie funding and programs to measurable results. Revenue growth, jobs created, exports, innovation, not just seats in a workshop. And stop assuming job seeker is the only post-service identity available. For a significant portion of veterans, the right question is isn't who will hire you, it's what will you build and how do we get out of your way. That is where my consulting offer comes in. My team and I know this landscape from the ground level, Canadian and American. We built programs, navigated VAC, secured funding as a for-profit company, and worked directly with veterans who are trying to create value instead of just survive. I'm not here to hand you a prepackaged solution. I'm here to say you have a massive, underused engine of economic growth sitting in your veteran community. And right now, you don't even have the dashboard wired up. Give us a mandate to build the dashboard and the roadmap that follows. Do that, and 5 years from now, we won't be guessing how many veteran entrepreneurs Canada has. We'll be arguing how to scale them faster. Thank you.